You know, that's so
That's
true,
good.
Kirk, about instant gratification. I think the society is kind of evolved or devolved. We've revolved into this sense of instant gratification with, 30-second clips and likes and all that. How many likes did I get? How many likes did I get? And like the long game is so key. The communist, as Yuri Bezmenov talked a lot about, takes 20 years to infiltrate a country. With the KGB, they'd be like, this is a Russian tactic, a Soviet tactic. As you get in there early, it takes you 10, 20 years. The Chinese, as far as I can tell, they're still fighting the opium wars from the 1890s. Like now they're feeding fentanyl through Mexico because what happened was the British colonized off the east coast of China and just poured opium into China in the late 1800s and just toxified their civilianry and controlled their nation through addiction. And now they're still, it's like the memory is not lost.
I also wonder how much of it has to do with the fact that so much of the American population gets their sense of how law enforcement and the justice system works through like Law and Order SVU. So you have this like neat little thing that ties up in 40 minutes, 30 minutes. And it seems like even though they'll put at the bottom, like these are months apart, your brain is conditioned to think, but it happens back to back to back to back. So
and CSI is the worst. I can't tell you. I mean, anybody who knows a cop or has talked to a cop about it, they go, oh, geez. I was talking to a cop out in West Virginia, and he was like, you will not believe it. We'll get like, someone will call in and say, someone broke into my garage and stole my, leaf blower or something. And we'll show up, we'll take notes, and we'll say, thank you for your information. And they immediately respond with, well, aren't you going to dust for prints? It's like, it's a $70 leaf blower. Yeah. What do you think we're doing over here?
Meanwhile, NCIS is like, there's the body. Okay, we've gotten the DNA back 5 seconds later, and every other, like anyone who's into true crime or police officers, like that would take months if we had the funding for it.
Yep. If we had the funding for it. Like, we could do it maybe in a month, but no one's going to spend the money on this.
Meanwhile, they have it by lunch. I mean, it's a fictional world. And again, that is a lot of people's exposure to how any sort of legal proceeding works.
It's crazy that it's been almost 20 years.
The long game, I guess, is where we're at. Because I have been banging my head against the proverbial wall, trying to fix the world in like a talk show, in like a 2-hour podcast. And like, dude, there's that saying that you plant trees that you'll never sit under the shade of. You inspired Leonardo. We were talking before the show, like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt got their start on your TV show in the 80s.
Right.
And without even knowing it, you were like mentoring those guys and showing them what a young actor could become. And now, like, I guess that's where it's at, is like teaching the children, is helping the kids.
Brad Pitt's watching around now being like, Kirk was great.
This, I think, I don't know who's listening to this program right now, but for the moms and dads out there who feel like, what can I do? I don't have a podcast. I don't have a television show. I don't have a bunch of influencers on this platform. But you know what? Playing the long game as a mom, as a dad, as a grandparent, I think is one of the most powerful things we can possibly do. I mean, what does everybody want to do? They want to get to the children. They want to get to the children through TikTok, Instagram, through Snapchat, through public schools, through whatever, because whoever has the time to tell the stories and set the values in the hearts and minds of children gets to control the future. Isn't that true?
But your poor kids, Kirk, your poor kids having to look at the Tiger Beat magazines of you and like seeing all the celebrities.
We should pull those up, by the way. Those are hot.
We'll pull it up. No, but what I think is really, really important is we've talked on this show about the importance of having families, and here's what I love. Anybody who's ever played one of these strategy games like StarCraft or Warcraft or Command and Conquer, you just mass produce the lowest level fighter unit. So you ever see one of these video games where it's like you build a little base and then you'll like collect resources and then train soldiers? Instead of building the most intricate weapons and making your army have nukes, you just make millions of little soldiers. You send them all over to your enemy's base and they just through just volume wipe them out. What is it called? Zerging?
Yeah. That's Zerging? Actually based on the Zerg from StarCraft.
Right, you just mass produce the Zerg and send them over. It's the cheapest, smallest unit. When it comes to the culture war, there's a really, really simple way to win. And it's just to mass make humans. Just keep having babies.
You'll outnumber them eventually.